Live. And we should be live. Yeah, Annie, you are like, maybe I need to move the camera. So everybody, you might get motion sick if I move, because Annie is just like at the edge.
I can sit like that.
Okay, because we have to do social distancing. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, so we have to sit 1 meter
Apart from each other.
which makes it a little less intimate than
Yes,
we would have hoped
than
for
usual.
it to be. But, you know, in light of current circumstances, we want to make sure we comply with everything.
Yeah, we are live already on YouTube. I will connect this thing to the Wi-Fi plug. So I think in the room we just need to speak up. If I stand like this, can you guys hear me out there on the interwebs?
Please stay close to the microphone, Uli. We've got an enormous room sound now, and this is not so good.
Well, I'm using the H2N in the middle of the room. Maybe, maybe you know what? Okay, I'll switch gears. I'll use the Jabra instead, and you tell me what the difference is. Because this is a live experiment. No, we are starting at 5. Oh,
may I show you my Jabra?
Hang on. No. How about now? How about, what is it now?
Say something.
Testing 1, testing 2. Testing.
Yeah. It's almost the same. But if you're walking around, just stay.
Of course.
The microphone. The H2 was better.
Well, it is the H2 now.
So I have to be. I'll send you on WhatsApp. Okay, thank you. You have to sign up for Eventbrite, is it?
I don't know how I signed up. I think I signed up for the Eventbrite.
Ah, okay, got it.
Okay, well,
so there were comments that
you don't need me to start talking.
The H2 was better.
Well, it is actually the H2 at the moment, but I'll just change. Jabra again. Testing.
Oh, this is good.
Okay. This is the Jabra.
So how's everybody doing?
You're good. We can't be anything better.
In the room has audio on. Okay.
Might have been me.
Okay.
Is it this?
Switch off at the moment. That's okay.
Yeah, I forgot to mute. Now I mute.
Oh. Yeah, awesome.
It's probably better now.
Great. So who do we have in the room?
So we have some of our speakers from 2 weeks ago. We have Suresh, hi, Quinton, at a better time for you today. We have Jane just joined as well, and Raymond, who joined us the first time as a speaker for, oh, hi Jane, hi. Okay, I think
we need a screen. We want to see those people.
Yes. So I mean, I have them on my screen here. Would that be helpful if I?
No, it's fine. Just I'll find a way.
All right.
Feel free to start the conversation in the gig.
I will pass it on to Lynn actually. So today actually the format is pretty free, right? Like we're not doing like a thing where we have speakers and the audience, so it's more like everyone feel free to chip in. And to introduce Lynn, she's been one of the members of the Martian since the beginning. She's also been in all the previous events, like helping us, you know, with some of the stuff that's going on in the background, helping us like respond to some of your comments online. So I will. She's a lovely lady who is a HR specialist, very passionate about the topic of, you know, making organizations work better, future of work. So very happy that today she's she's blending in very well with the with the colors in the room.
Yeah.
And then so we just spontaneously decided that she should run today's event. I mean, even though we will all be, all like be speaking a lot.
So hi everybody, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. So I'm the impromptu facilitator for today's session. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us. It's a it's a rare treat for us to be sitting here like this. I haven't had human interaction other than my immediate family for the past couple of weeks. So when Uli said we are meeting, I said, "Yay, time to dress up," and we all dressed up.
Yes.
So here we are. We can't see you, all of you, but if you have your videos on, it would be nice to say hi. Just do your virtual wave, please, and just yeah, nice to see everybody. Wow, this is such a treat actually, and we never really appreciated it until now. Many of the countries have lockdown.
Yes.
Singapore is one of those rare. We are lucky that we are still able to go out grocery shopping and able to just go out to the park and enjoy a walk. So uh, I hope we all get there very soon. That we are able to go out and enjoy our just physical freedom. So I see that many of us from the last session, last couple of sessions we have joined, you have joined us. So how has it been? Let's just open up the conversation. How has it been just working online?
Yeah.
So we'll start with the people here in the room and just take turns to just say, how do you feel working by yourself? Lockdown, semi-lockdown. What has changed in terms of work? So do you want to start with? Uli, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. What has changed? Well, for our company, we are, I think a month ago, we were encouraged to work from home, and 2 weeks ago, everybody is supposed to work from home, not come to the office. Since I work in a global role, I just don't travel anymore. The rest is more or less the same. Not a big change on my end. But I mean, of course, with the colleagues that I work with, because for them it's a big change, both in Singapore as well as overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's just locked in at home.
Yeah.
So that's a big change.
But yours is a technology company, and you're probably used to this way of working already.
Yeah.
So this isn't.
Well, for me personally, yes, but the way we work with our customers,
Yeah.
no. And the way we work with other colleagues who are used to be working from the office in their normal capacity.
Yeah, that has definitely changed. So for how has it changed for you?
Sorry.
Go on.
Kai was saying something.
Yeah, go on.
Go on, Kai.
Yep. So for me, it's a kind of very special situation because I have to take care for my son the whole day, and so working is it's limited. Mm-hmm. This is special at the moment, but I'm learning a lot and I'm practicing a lot, and I'm trying with Uli and with Suresh, for example, to set a scene for online meetings, to have a better presentation, a better view, to make it just look better and to make it look more natural. And so whenever I'm in meetings, I'm seeing a lot of people now, they're switching on their cameras. This is fantastic, but we have to work on how we can make this look even better now, to make it more real, to make it more feasible. And this is a trial at the moment. And so working with light, for example, and working with the right position of the camera, that it looks really good. And we're working on this, and it needs practice. This is what's currently happening for me.
Thank you for sharing, Kai. Actually, I want to now kind of change the question a little bit. I probably want to ask you, what did you learn? And thank you for that, because my question has changed now. What did you learn in the past few weeks of working online? What about you, Annie? What did you learn? What new happened for you?
So a bit similar to Uli, I run a remote team. So I run a remote team. team members are in Singapore and in Taipei. So this is actually business as usual for me. It's a bit hard to explain this to other people, but a lot of the things that people are doing right now, like staying at home, cooking, participating in work conversations online, are things that I have been doing for the past year at least. So to me, it just feels a bit surreal that suddenly everyone else is doing the same thing. Like I don't feel so special anymore. But that's besides the point. Yeah.
So we can learn from you.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you saying the way you've been acquiring customers is the same as before?
So I think one thing that maybe has changed, and it's been hard to say whether the impact is good or bad for now, is that obviously when looking for new clients, that becomes a bit harder because relationships take time to build, and you usually have to meet in person, shake their hands, like talk to them in person, and a lot of it depends on the in-person meeting face-to-face to establish a lot of trust, and to then decide to work together, or to give somebody your business. So a lot of the meetings I originally planned have been cancelled. Some have moved online as well. So I think the good thing is that people are a bit actually more open to meetings online now, because there isn't another choice, right? It's online meetings or nothing at all, right? And it beats like exchanging a conversation over email. So it's actually been easier on my part to focus on maybe doing things in a certain way, and then I no longer have as many options. Like, should I go out? Should I meet this person for coffee? Should I do a lunch meeting? Should I go to the person's office and we do it in like a meeting room? Now that there's only one option, actually, because you have decision anxiety otherwise, but right now it's a lot easier to make that decision. It's like, okay, let's do it. Where's the Zoom link? Like, this is the date.
So,
like, what time zone are you in? And then, once we get that sorted, it's actually
the choice is only between which technology do you use? Do you use Zoom or Skype or Hangout or
Google Hangouts, or like, do I use Zoom?
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's interesting, but definitely I think it's harder to meet new customers, new clients right now.
Because they're also busy with essential stuff.
And they have they have other things to focus on at the moment as well. Yeah, and you don't want to impose yourself too much on them.
That's interesting. What I picked up on that was also that people are now willing to have online conversations and treat it as a regular conversation instead of saying, oh, let's just meet, or wait for a face-to-face meeting before starting to build trust, which is interesting. Shweta, in your work, what have you learned in the past few weeks of everybody going online suddenly?
I actually benefited a lot, because I'm actually doing consultancy work. So I use WhatsApp web a lot. So I use a combination of Zoom and WhatsApp web and Google Drive and Google stuff. So everything connected together. So it's been much more efficient. And then I belong to like the Bible Fellowship study group. So we host our Bible study group in a Zoom session.
Wow.
And then we also have the seminars. I attend seminars in Zoom, so that I actually have a lot of learning opportunities in Zoom. Yeah.
So your learning time has gone up.
Yes, because I don't need time to I don't need to waste time for transport. So I just stay at home, and then I just like work efficiently for 8 hours, and then my lunch break is only half an hour because I don't need to travel out. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So you're taking it as an opportunity to do more of what you actually
it's very much more efficient. Yeah, I get more work done.
That's wonderful. We want to hear some more from people who are online.
I'm dying to see some faces from overseas.
Yes, Uli has been just walking around, is very impatient, wanting to see your faces. So do you, let's have let's hear from people online. Could you unmute yourself and just, yeah, what has changed for you in the past 2-3 weeks since you started working online? What did you learn?
Okay, Alex is raising his hand.
Alex, yes, please go ahead, Alex.
Hi everyone. This time with video. Last time for the last session, I was without video because I was recovering from dengue fever and not looking well. So what has changed for me is my business is leadership consulting, and we consult leaders when they face times of high pace and innovation. So actually, this is a great time for us in a sense, because digitalization always comes with a change in leadership. But on the other hand, what I faced was a lot of our clients, they thought, yes, what you just mentioned, we do the on-site training or consulting, and then we might have an online session and on top of it. So what I'm currently busy with is turning those minds a little bit more into, so they think about me or us when they need this, because right now we're in the box of, oh, those are the people who show up. And that's not possible, so we cannot work with them. On the other hand, I just had a conversation with the VP of digitalization from a major German bank last week, and she said that this is a perfect time for her because now people are finally getting used to talking not by just face-to-face conversation in the pantry, which is usually happening. So now people who are always strictly against home office do it, so what my work has changed is I'm moving a little bit from taking care of the leaders to coaching their coaches, so the coaches get familiar with the remote setting, because coaches are people. So you hang around the team, you talk to them, you work with them, you are building the team, and now the team is distributed, so that has changed highly. On the other hand, I'm not sure if it's visible, I have now my personal Kanban board here on my wall. So this has changed drastically. For myself, I still need this to decide what am I going to do today, no matter how online I work. So this has stayed the same actually for me personally. But yeah, my business has been turned upside down, and it's a mixture of weird things and new opportunities happening, and worldwide. So right now I'm trying to do things in Singapore, Vietnam, Germany, Switzerland at the same time, which has never been the case before.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. And you're looking much better. So I'm guessing you are fully recovered from your dengue.
I'm working on it. I sleep a lot. That's why I look so nicely today.
Okay, good. So who else is online?
We have Quinton, we have Jane.
Quinton,
I see Suresh.
we didn't hear from you.
Cindy's there too. Wow.
Yeah, just I found the unmute button.
Hi, New Zealand.
Hello, at a much better time.
Yeah.
10:15, which was much better than last time. So thank you for that. Yeah, life has taken a very different turn. To what Alexander was saying, you're suddenly working in different time zones. So I woke up at 7 this morning to do a meeting in the US about virtual meetings, by the way. It's all a bit of inception happening right there. And then I went I had breakfast, I did some preparation, and then I went back to sleep because I'm teaching now a 5-day class, and I did that last week as well. Last week, the 5-day class was for people in Sydney. So that's only 2 hours back, which was fine. Then my day starts at 11. And this week I'm teaching Singapore, people mostly in the Singapore time zone, Hong Kong, and Malaysia. And then my day starts at 2 o'clock. So that's the Singapore 9 o'clock. So my schedule, one of the things that I learned is to clearly communicate with my wife and kids when Papa has to stream content and do video calling and things like that. So that's a learning to make things work like a company with your family as well, because there's things to be done also for them. Make sure that they,
Is still in lockdown?
Yeah, we are in lockdown. Yeah, so schools are closed. We're doing homeschooling as well. So all these schedules interweave with each other. So there's it's hard to get food here. That takes hours because everybody has to stand in line, and sometimes supplies are not available. And we don't want to hog all the food. Some people just do that. It's a bit of a bad situation. They just grab anything they can. But I refuse to do that. Yeah, so we're, I guess we're losing a little bit of weight as well. So all good. We still have, we're lucky to have a bit of land around our house and be able to do some exercise and go into nature, which is quite important also with the younger kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been challenging on the schedule and how you deal with it, but also I wrote down a couple of learnings. I was really happy after last week's delivery that I did, 5-day with Australians, doing
5 full days.
5 full days. No, it's not full days. You can't do full days anymore. It's impossible physically. No, nothing is impossible, but physically it's not good to do 8 hours of video calling. That's insane because we're sitting down. It's hard to move around.
Yeah.
So we changed the content to be less and different, and only do 3.5 hours of video calling, and then they have to record themselves in any which way they like for the exercises that we do.
And courses that you used to be doing face to face?
Sorry, yeah, it's face to face. Those sessions. And everybody has their video on. That is that's a requirement. And literally, the feedback one of the participants was, I really liked the video on because you can't hide. You can't just play with your phone or do something. You can't be in the back of the room and be invisible anymore. So that also leads to an interesting dynamic in the class as well. Because you have to be on top of your game on technology, on the content. You have to be mindful of the people attending. So what I also learned is I can get lost in things that I'm passionate about, but I make sure I check the time, do some funny stuff in between, make sure that you work with the attention spans that people have. And it's really, really hard. It's really hard. I can talk now for hours and I can't smell you. I can't see you properly. It's all that. So what I've done is working with timers, setting timers for breaks, taking longer breaks, not just, let's do a 5-minute break, get something to drink and continue. No. 15 minutes. Then I play piano or something like that, snap out of it and then go back. Really. And I encourage people to do that as well. Other things, clarity. When you do a class, everything has to be unambiguous. It's like you can't say, well, maybe we should do X, Y, and Z. No. You say, this is what is going to happen. It's almost like kids, I would say, right?
Yeah.
No disrespect, but it has to be clear when people have to show up, where, how they have to do it. So we have a list of, we use Blue Jeans, for example. I'm a master now in switching different rooms. We have different teams working in different rooms, and you just, go here, and I'm just switching technologies like a boss, right? Oh, Zoom, sure, no problem. Google Hangouts, oh yeah, why not? But a bit of fun. And I think one of the funniest things was, I realized I was taking too much of the attention span of the attendees. So I suggested to do the floss, and people were so relieved by that actually I had 10 Australians sort of doing the floss.
Okay,
Some were not really good, but everybody knows what the floss is. And
no, we just asked whether it is the actual flossing of the teeth. So
that's not something
No. Here, look, the floss is. And I'm happy to do a bit of exercise. Okay, everybody, come on, do the floss. You've been sitting all day already. Come on, loosen up a little bit. Move your cameras up.
1 minute.
What do we do?
So what we do
Social distancing.
is, and this this is what the kids told me. You have your arms on one side and you do this and back. And then two go in front of you. And then this.
Yeah.
In front of you, turn around.
Dance. It's a dance.
They call it
Dance. Then you have to do it really fast. I don't know if it's
too difficult.
Okay, it's good.
Yeah.
Thank you for embarrassing us. But yeah,
well,
actually you have to do these kind of things to just at least to get people to stand up and just move around, because we don't move as much.
I've been sitting a whole lot. Like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't be sitting so much.
And you were talking about that you're losing weight because you can't find enough food, but then there's this forward going around here in Singapore. It says somebody has put a sticker in front of the fridge. Where you open the refrigerator, it says, "You are not hungry. You are bored. Go back." You know, when we are home and it doesn't matter what food we have, we just go and keep eating just because we are bored and there's nothing much to do. So there's also the danger of we all becoming really obese, eating chips and all the stuff that we are not supposed to be eating. But yeah, Quentin, in terms of you've been changing your face-to-face content to the same content to be delivered online, right?
Yeah.
What's the technology that you're using? I mean, we're not promoting anything specifically, but I'm just curious to know now. This is the new weather. You know, when we talk to each other, like, what are you? It's almost like it's a sunny day, it's a rainy day. Then now instead of the weather, we are talking about what are you using? Which technology I'm using? I'm using blue jeans. So this is the new weather. So please go ahead, tell us what do you use?
What's the small talk you mean?
Yeah.
What's the small talk?
That's
the small talk these days. You know, a bit about Corona, how your numbers doing, and what's your Corona source. I actually use a command line for that. You just type Corona on the command line and then the name of a country or something like that, and spits out the data. For technology, I use Blue Jeans. I also use Jamboard from Google. That seems to hold up nice. Because you can share that on Blue Jeans. You can do share a screen, and then I use a iPad to do the actual whiteboarding, and it keeps a record of your whiteboards, and that really holds up.
Does it have to be a Pro, or a normal iPad also works?
No, I think you can have it on any device if that's what you're asking.
Works on any devices.
Yeah. And the nice thing is that you also can work then with the attendees to do some Kanban stuff, because you can put in sticky notes and things like that. So maybe for Alexander, you know, if you want to work with your clients with something more permanent, you can take screenshots and export it and things like that. And Jamboard is actually a quite simple and nice tool that works well. So that's some of the technology that I'm using.
Have you worked with Mural?
Mural, no.
Yes. Okay, because that's what has been recommended to me as a online whiteboard solution a few times. I haven't looked at it yet though, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah, no, I also haven't looked at it. I'm always happy to explore new possibilities, because it's not always great.
I'm going to ask you to type into your chat boxes what is your most, your favorite technology, a piece of technology that you're using currently ever since you've gone online, your work has gone online. If you can just put whatever is your current favorite, just put it in your chat and then we'll pick up from there.
Minesweeper.
Minesweeper. That is only. What is?
No, it's just
my chainsaw, I think. No.
Jane, you mentioned you have to leave early, so we'll just
It
drag
would be
you
nice
in
to see Jane.
for just a short conversation. How are you doing? And
How's Taiwan?
How's Taiwan? Yes.
Hi. Oh, Taiwan is doing great. I think the things after our meetup, I think I hosted a few meetups and actually utilized the tips that I got from our meetup last time to get the virtual drinks with my attendees, and everyone loved it. So it's a very good tip for me to utilize for my meetups. There were like 4 meetups we hosted already, and over the past week we did like empathy mapping with my ladies that UX Taipei community, and then we also had a few, like tonight there's another meetup for Blender, which is open source software for animations, and we wanted to do the Chinese version, kind of do a lot of a translation of it. Yeah, so for me, I think we definitely switch a lot of the physical events to online events while learning how to do it more interactively, and also wanted to also make sure everyone is engaged during the process. What I really learned over the week, or overall the feeling about working from home, is I have to break my time into very small chunks, slots, for meetings or chats with my colleagues or my volunteers, because I couldn't really focus on having the all day meeting, like for 6 hours or 5 hours. That's really not me. So 30 minutes talks, 30 minutes meetings would be the max for me. And I wanted to make sure that can be happening only for certain slots in my time for the full day, so it's more like efficient. At the same time, we can have some reflections or like concentrating time for me to work on my work. Second thing is, we still want to have physical. Of course, in Taiwan, we have no restrictions of going out. There are still many people that they are asked to work from the office. They have to work at the office. So we can still visit them. And I try to make sure that I can limit those physical meetings in one afternoon over the week, because I definitely want to see people, meet with people. I think it's really important. But at the same time, I still cherish the freedom, or my online all those online meetings. So I wanted to make sure the physical meetings can happen only once in a week, and the entire afternoon is all about connecting with the real people, have a good coffee together and chat with everyone's life and everything. I was also very surprised that there are many great online conferences, that happens. Like every day I can read, I can watch a lot of good, online conference. Like last night, there were Stanford's AI conference talking about COVID-19 and the impact of the overall. And there's also Tech Connects, like almost every day they have contents there, which we can watch live. At the same time, the operas like Royal Opera House has, ballet dance, they can do live streaming also. And then there's audiobooks from Amazon that we can, cherish with my kid. So I have to say the overall situation of COVID-19, is actually benefiting a lot to me, to my life, and also to make sure we can balance between the real work, which we have to go meet with physically with people. At the same time, we can balance with the family more. So I cherish this type of time.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Jania. You're right. In fact, there's this somebody shared a joke recently where saying, who led the digital transformation for your company, and the options are CEO, CTO, COVID-19. Like, of course there are, not putting it lightly, but we are really fast tracking our digital transformation just because we catch up with business. We still are able to do some business using as much as apps or new technology as we can.
Yeah.
But physical, face-to-face meetings and actually dealing with people is still far more important than online meetings.
Yeah.
We can learn a lot from the ones. I mean,
Yeah.
Jane, you mentioned some of the big events. I think we can just dial in and get some of the ideas and see how they do it. And Quinton, I've just registered for the Red Hat Summit.
Yeah, exactly. That's also one of those things. They are going completely virtual, as well as our internal sales kickoffs. So things are really changing in that aspect. And there's obviously an explosion in content, and also good content. And seriously, I had so many emails and things from people and instances about 500 tips for virtual training here and 200 tips on virtual delivery there. So there's no shortage of tips and things that you can try out these days. And suddenly there's virtual experts popping up everywhere. So I think it's quite fun to see the world do something completely different, dealing with this COVID-19, and see how people are adapting. And that's why I just want to do a shout out to the Martians. It's really nice to have these kind of meetups and just exchange thoughts and hear what other people have to say about it.
You're one of them, kind of.
Yeah.
Community, mate.
Yeah. Please go ahead, I think you had a question.
Yeah, I have a question for Quentin and Jane. Since you are exposed to so many conferences, virtual meetups, right? Is there a field or topic that is lacking, that's not addressed yet, that somebody can benefit in addressing, or like what is the flaw that you see that is within this summit? Or I mean, obviously there are very good learning opportunities, but then there are so many. Are there like too many duplication? Which topics are not covered? Which topics are covered too much?
Is that, do you mean topics about doing things virtually, or
no,
topics in general?
What Sweting is interested to know is there seems to be a lot of content online, but are there too much of one particular topic, or is there anything missing? What is missing which is not online yet? Is like something that is not addressed yet?
To be honest, I didn't have much time to look into these things, because we are also scrambling time and resources to convert all our trainings that we're doing. But what I haven't seen is a good article about how to sniff out how people are feeling. I can see all your faces and I can see your eyes moving on the screen, meaning that you're not only engaged in this on the screen, this video stream that I am looking at. So I'm already a bit like a teacher, you know, I see your eyes moving, but I can't keep track of those things. So I would like to have something, or a piece of software or some smart idea on how to
Implant.
An implant, how to directly gauge the level of engagement. And this probably has been addressed in a couple of tools already, but something more innovative. Yeah, and something under the skin instead of a Fitbit or something like that does blood pressure and hormones and level. Okay, that's maybe still a bit too far in the future and privacy issues and whatnot. But yeah, that's something that I'm missing, to do something smart about it.
So also, you're worried about engagement level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can ask Suresh. I think you're building a holodeck, right? Like in Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. You hear me, right?
Yeah, we hear and see you.
Cool. That's cool. So when I met Kai and Uli in Colombo API conference, what we discussed a lot of things, and also I exchanged with the Quentin.
Long time ago.
Yeah, long time. Not so some time ago. Yeah, right. Yeah.
It feels like a long.
People forgot where we come from. I mean, since one of our Bush said, I think 1929 or something like this, he said, as we may think from MIT, so far as I know, we built the digital planet. And I was waiting for this COVID-19 paradigm shift. Today, people are digital. They are using all the technology. It's making me really happy. I don't know, is the way people look at it but I think is people was forced to use the digital technology. They had to rethink about the humanity. They have to rethink about how we are going to live. A lot of books, the Kai is having his shelves. They are all my books. I tell Kai, but even he buys, they are all mine. So there's a Mac Tetmark, he bought the Life 3.0. When you read this book, and also Nick Bostrom from Cambridge University, that he wrote the Superhuman book, and also from Kai-Fu Lee, he wrote the AI and Superpower. These are now going to change our life. And from the Donna Haraway, she wrote the Cyborg Manifesto. I see all the books and all the prediction is happening right now. I don't know why it's happening right now, but as people start to use all the technologies, and is maybe we had a push from coronavirus as that we change our life, and we have to rethink. And today, a lot of people I see, they want to live organical way, they want to live digital way, but people start to use the digital technology. So this is a big change happened. I think people, when the coronavirus is gone, I hope it will gone very soon, but our life will be not the same anymore. The corporation will think different way, and people will think different way, and maybe we also going to live totally different way. So this is what I see it. And also I exchanged with Quentin also a certain time ago, certain chat. I've been waiting for this digital transformation. I said digital transformation is a buzzword, is a kind of a boring word, but we built the digital planet and we are living on this digital planet right now. But most of the people, they forgot to do the digital library for educational purpose and corporation purpose, like in Netflix, Apple TV Plus, or Google, YouTube stuff for their own private use. Now they have to really rethink, and we become everyone become a broadcasters. Today we are using all the devices. We are the host, same time we are the same time we are the audience. That is a fantastic paradigm shift for the humanity.
And we're actually building a studio currently, and this remotely. It's Suresh and
Yeah. Kai asked, until now I didn't have a challenge. Now Kai, Suresh, we have to build the studio, but you manage on the cloud. So I am going to talk to my broadcast friends to build a new software. Maybe we manage everything. So this is the new things are happening. So when I saw from CNN, Anderson 361, I think they used the modern way of using Facebook. The CNN, they did a small change in their studio. I think as Anderson Hooper 361 or 360, that program is kind of things that we should think about it and how we're going to do the new things out of it. But ask me all the time, look at the Kai, all the books. He pays, but they are my books. So
I think for Suresh, for me, the interesting part is how can we make technology invisible? Right? It's nice that we have Zoom and microphones and Jabra and iPads, but I want everything to disappear. That we are just
this is a very, very thank you for this question. I think that I don't talk about Apple, and I talk about Steve. Steve he made the fantastic move that they built the technology behind the devices, and you could use it in the front, very simple way for everyone. I think we had to take from this thing, we had to do the next level. So we should not make a geek software. We should use a user interface, and user experience is very important. Design is matter. So today we have art and design schools and art and design companies. They have to do the redesign of how to use the kitchen knife. It doesn't cut your fingers. The same way we have to use the technology. People who are coding, they had to learn the usability. So we should not click here and there and microphone. It should be automatic. So we have artificial intelligence systems. The corporation, they should create artificial intelligence based. You open the cell, okay, you send the email, automatically read. It's like XAI, this is an email assistant. So we have all the technology, automation of automation we have. We don't have the artificial general intelligence yet, but we can do a lot of things. We should not make things complicated. I mean, grandma should open the laptop and just to do with the grandchildren, just one click, that's the automatically microphone set up. And there are companies, they are doing this software, but they should also come out and to do the things. And we should not do, most of the people are doing the pattern that they want to make a lot of money. At the moment, most of the big corporations, they make huge money. They don't make any kind of a price reduction or something. People are struggling, people are learning new things. But if you look at the Denmark, they don't have any natural resources, but they make a fantastic design furnitures, fantastic design things that you can use every day.
My wife is from Denmark, and she made that background for me just to create a quick Red Hat studio while I was delivering internal Red Hat courses. So yeah, that's design happening right there. But I completely, with the paradigm shift, I think you're quite spot on with that. One of the things is, of course, the whole technology streak that is happening, and the use of AI and more data, and our lives becoming digital. On the other hand, internally within Red Hat, what people start to do is share recipes, because there was a shortage on yeast, for example, to make bread. So people started to share best practices, how to do these things at home, right? So besides digital, there's now suddenly a return to nature and how to do these things by hands. So we have now time to learn these survival skills, these basic skills.
What do you mean?
Make more of our own food, healthier.
Life has moved online.
Quintin, do you know that yeast is the top selling product ever since COVID-19 come about in China?
Yeast? Is it?
Yes, because everybody is making the Chinese one called mantou.
Oh, I thought it's
wow. Oh. Unbelievable.
Since we're on this topic, I would just like everyone to know that you can actually grow your own yeast. You don't have to buy commercial yeast.
It takes time, right?
It takes time. It takes a week for you to do that, but you just need to mix flour and water in a certain proportion. Over time, you have something known as a sourdough starter, and then you can bake your own bread. It's actually pretty therapeutic to do that, so I highly recommend it. And you don't have to, I mean, as long as there's no shortage of flour in your country or where you are, it's possible to bake your own bread.
There you go, life skills. So yeah, I mean, it's incredible that we have, from where we were in 2019, and suddenly life has moved online. And we're sharing recipes and having cocktails over calls, video calls. It's just
for
digital.
now. I mean,
now,
we're hopefully coming back.
But it's kind of put digital disruption on steroids. You know, it's like everybody's suddenly changing. There was this recently, just a couple of days ago, I was watching a webinar. Well, I was in a webinar where there was this one person manipulating about 20 different apps and websites. I mean, he was using excellent. It was an excellent production, but he was doing it online, just live. And it was just one person. He was using 2 screens. And so at some point, we started asking him, how many apps are you using? And I noted it down. It was about 20 different websites and apps and things that he was using to make it more engaging for his audience. It just gave hope that he was a middle-aged person, not high-tech, not somebody I would say is like super high-tech, not a geek, definitely. He's a HR person, much like me. So I was thinking, wow, you give me hope, because I can do it too if you can do it. Yeah. So it is like, we've suddenly moved a lot into the future, thanks to COVID-19. In a way, there has to be some positive out of all this, you know. So yeah, that's possibly it. And I wanted to call upon
Cindy.
Cindy, yeah,
Cindy,
you've been quiet.
Let me see your name.
We don't see your video though. Do you want to switch on and say hi?
I want to, yes. Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
Hi.
So my internet is like really slow. That's why I had to switch off my video.
It's become critical, right? Good Wi-Fi is essential.
I know. I need to get one of those expensive Wi-Fi mesh that costs like $400, $500.
You have to talk to your provider. They should give you 5G network or Wi-Fi 6.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. Yeah. So what's the question?
Oh, no, I just want to make sure that everybody knows about you because Cindy and I connected a while ago as well. And Cindy is a coach, and ever since COVID-19 happened, there has also been some interesting changes. And I thought maybe you tell us about that, Cindy.
Yeah. So COVID changed my career forever. So I used to do 80% corporate training outside and 20% coaching. And then ever since COVID, all of my training got canceled. Most of them got canceled, except for like a couple of virtual training. So I had to find another way to make money, right? So over the past 1 to 2 months, I've used LinkedIn to get coaching clients. So now most of my income is from online coaching, like everything is done online. And I'm loving it because I do less work and I get paid more.
Okay.
You advertise on LinkedIn?
I wouldn't call it advertising. I would just call it content.
You're present. You live on LinkedIn. I saw that.
Brand. You have an amazing brand on LinkedIn now. I love it.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah, Cindy and I met, I think, 2018.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we are connected on LinkedIn because we met at the
social selling conference.
Yes, social selling. There was there was this huge seminar which brought in like over 500 people, and it was really good. And they were talking. So all these things that we are talking about right now, for example, video on LinkedIn, move toward content, more digital content. All this started happening a while ago, right? And there was, although it was all there, the traction wasn't that much. But now it almost seems like the tipping point is there, and we've just all tipped over. Or, it depends on how prepared we are, or how willing to learn we are.
Yeah. Yes, and I think Kai is also very passionate about LinkedIn. Kai, you're still there, right? Okay. Maybe not.
I'm here.
Okay, no, because Cindy is the perfect example. She doesn't blast spam on LinkedIn. She's very authentic. She's very interactive, and she has an opinion, and she involves people in the discussion, and that's just the best way of doing marketing in 2020. Just look at Cindy.
It is, yeah. There's much we can learn from you, Cindy. So, yep.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Everyone can do the same.
So do you just write a lot of like intelligent posts, and how do you get engagement? How do you get clients? Do you use like the LinkedIn lead generation campaign, or do you use Sales Navigator, or what works for you?
I don't pay LinkedIn a single cent.
Those are shortcuts, right?
I can answer that because as an audience to some of her posts that I've seen I think they're highly relatable, and it is usually about your daily life or your daily struggles, which people can relate to. I think one of the posts that I really liked was when Cindy posted something related right after the COVID-19, and when the seminars and trainings were getting cancelled. She had posted something on the I don't remember the words, but something to the effect that as a consultant, what do I do now? And as a HR consultant myself, I related to it. That was probably one of the most famous posts, isn't it, Cindy?
Yeah, it was one of the top engaging posts, and ever since then I got a lot more followers, and after that one single post, all of my posts engagement increased.
Yeah, so I guess relatability is the key. What I found in her posts, where they're all very relatable, they're not up in the air, they're not using very bombastic words or anything. It's just really relatable.
Yeah, thank you, Aline. Yeah, it's not intelligent posts. Like if you see some of my posts, I post like about my dog. I post about like jokes and comics.
It's authentic, and it's you, right? And I think that's what Aline meant when she says it's relatable.
Yeah.
You don't use any stock photos or
I see this. There's another person,
Carol and Amy.
Do you want to unmute yourself and say hi and maybe come on video if you can? No, okay. And
Going
I also
once.
see a U.
That's our iPad here.
Okay. Cool. So we've gone around the room. Is there anything that anybody would like to share apart from what we've spoken? Like, what is the next month look? How is it looking for you the next month in terms of?
Is anybody able to say that actually, right? We don't.
Yeah.
We are flying by sight at the moment.
Yeah, that's true actually. Is there anything? What does future look like?
Europe, Kai, Suresh, what do you think the next few weeks are going to be like?
Next few weeks, how it's going to look, nobody knows, because we never thought about that it will come. It came. Nobody is prepared. Everybody is doing like well, you translate Handgelenk mal Pi in German. How you say? It's like everything is provisorium. All the government are not prepared. I think today you see the qualification of the people who are responsible, who should respond properly. They didn't respond. This is only few government they could respond in a very proper way, and they could do it. But also at the same time, we have to think about our data privacy and data security, and nobody care about at the moment, and certain people are benefiting of this situation. I think we have to rethink how we have to build more professional things out of this lesson. Next two weeks, I cannot predict how look like. It's chaotic.
I think what I see, and it's not about Europe, what we can see globally, and even in corporations and even in governments, that we are acting reactively. There is no strategy behind it. And I was waiting for all the think tanks that are working as scenarios. What would we do if this would happen? And there are highly paid think tanks that actually did nothing. And all the governments are just reacting like a child. They're feeling pain and they're doing something. There is no strategy. And so I think the big learning now from this COVID thing is that we need to start to think strategically and build scenarios and be prepared for something, because it will happen again and it will hit us harder next time, most probably. And we need to learn now, take the learning that we need to work as a global network and not thinking about this country and this country and this country. We are living in Switzerland and we're starting to blame the Italian people that they brought it over. Then the southern district or the Ticino, and we're blaming them for bringing this over. This is all us. We are interconnected digitally and in person. And so this is a big learning here. And it's not about Europe, it's not about the US, it's not about Asia. We are one thing.
So I joined Kai. Singapore PM said, I think 3 days ago, he said, don't blame China, US, you stop going for solution. I think it's a very nice quote from him, and I really respect what he said. Don't blame any part. It's a global scenario. We live in a global society, and it's also a time. Corona doesn't see any racism, and we should learn from Corona not to be a racist. We are the global citizens, and we had to look for the global solution. And this is a good lesson Corona teaches us, and for me, it's a positive things. Corona did it, but sadly, some people are dying and some people are suffering, but we were not prepared.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing your opinions, Suresh. Kai, really appreciate it. Is there anyone else online who would like to?
See.
I think we've spoken to everybody.
Yeah. Amy hasn't said a thing, but we don't know if they are still there. Amy hasn't said much in a long time.
Amy
How are you?
Is today's comment warrior. She has been manning the comment. Do you have anything to share from there as well?
I guess to Kai's point about very reactive in this scenario. I think maybe in this part of the world, you get a whole range of responses from different governments. In Singapore, fortunately, we've been, I think the whole, obviously the measures now are a bit more drastic, right? Like we have to practice social distancing. The government has said that has said that businesses, companies have to start implementing like work from home policies where possible. And you could get fined if you're not following that. And I think, we're slowly saying that, okay, gatherings with more than 10 people are not allowed. And then slowly, in the case of the scenario where we might have to move towards something where everyone stay at home, I think at least it has happened in stages, so no one is very surprised. I was reading, for example, in India that the announcement for a 21-day lockdown came like a same day thing, right? Like 4 hours later, like Prime Minister said, okay guys, like you can't leave your homes. And
India?
Really
India?
yeah,
because otherwise they would go nuts, right?
That really doesn't give anyone time to prepare, right? It's like, what do I do now, right? What if I have nothing to eat at home, right? We have had a bit of panic buying a couple of weeks ago. So I think people are settling into a new norm where, supermarkets have implemented certain policies saying you cannot buy more than 5 liters of cooking oil. I mean,
every day.
I don't know why any household would need more than 5 liters of cooking oil, and the fact that they had to implement that probably means that people have tried to buy 10 liters of cooking oil.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty systematic, and I think the response definitely varies from country to country. I guess a lot of people have mentioned, it's not something that happens on a daily basis, but it's also a good practice for if something like that happens in the future. Like, how should this is definitely not going to be the only time. So how can governments better respond to that? This would set a precedent and their lessons to take away from it.
Great. Thanks, Ivy. So we are a little over. Yes, please go ahead, Chitra.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say that I am actually planning for a fundraising, virtual marketing rethinking strategy summit, virtual summit. And then I would really appreciate it if because I heard from Quintin and Jane that there's so many summit out there, and then I just want to make one that is I just want to organize one that is really create impact on the marketing strategy or the business strategy for businesses who are in suffering from this COVID-19. So I believe some of you have my LinkedIn profile. I really hope to hear from you what kind of topics would be good, and then the difference of my idea is that I want it to be a fundraising event for businesses who are suffering. So I would like to hear from all your thought leaders, what are the topics that you think I should come up with, which will differentiate me from all the all the so many events that already is bombarding in the internet world right now. So yeah, that's all I ask for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sui. Actually, just to add on to that, while you asked the question early on as well, I was thinking about mental health.
Yeah.
That is an area which is becoming a lot more important than it was maybe a few months ago, because people are just generally locked down in the house and not interacting with people. So that is probably one of those topics that you could explore and just see if it is it's an area which we need more good content in, and more practical content in as well. So yeah, that is just my contribution.
Thank you.
So we are over one. We've just crossed an hour.
Really?
And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, time passed really quickly.
And guys, I will say, I think it was about 4 o'clock. I mean, it's now 6 o'clock. I think 2 hours ago, I was on the phone with Ellen, and she spontaneously decided to still come. And now she even hosted this whole thing. So see how spontaneous we are. We spontaneously decided to put up at this lobby at the co-worker space.
It's a wonderful place.
Yeah, this is
Bridge Plus.
is it considered west? Are we in the west?
We're in the west.
We are in the west of Singapore.
Which isn't that far away from the east, by the way.
Yeah, it's a small island, but yeah, it's still easy to get. But I'm stunned about the facilities here. So it sounded like we can do this more often, and we have some sort of partnership with those guys here. So I'll be taking everybody here for a drink or a few of those, and I hope to see you guys next time.
While we still can go out.
Yeah,
right?
well, I mean, I think it sounded like we have it under control over here, but every day could be a different story. We don't know.
Yes, it sure is. So, any closing remarks would you like to
No,
say?
no, no. I mean, I'm just
So
anything.
from the Martians, I guess, we have some ideas for future sessions. For example, we could have one with a meditation teacher if people are interested, or even a fitness instructor, depending on what everyone feels like. That's maybe some things we have planned in the future. So if you have any thoughts about that, anything you want to see us do, maybe not the floss, but anything else, we're pretty game. So just let us know.
With enough practice and patience here, we could be doing the floss too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I was thinking of, I mean, specifically after speaking with Cindy, we had one event where we speak about how do I stay productive? How do my employees stay compliant and productive at home? We had the second one where we speak about events. And I think it would be fun because, I mean, today we were catching up and it worked pretty well. But I think what we want to do is another more formal event again. And the topic could be health, physical, mental, but it could also be, and that's what brings me back to Cindy, how do we work with customers? How do we work with acquisition if we can't meet people face to face anymore? If we can't see, it's great to do Zoom, it's great to do Blue Jeans, but what if I can't take my customer to lunch and then he tells me the really important stuff? And how do I build trust? And this is all something we have to figure out. And it's not that we have all the answers, but maybe we could do an event around this topic.
We can brainstorm together and get all the ideas.
Yeah, that's typically a good idea.
Sounds great.
So yeah, many of us are connected actually. How do we communicate?
LinkedIn, yeah.
Well, I don't know. It typically ends up being a WhatsApp group. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll find out. I mean, we are all smart, connected people. Somebody will create something and then we'll talk there.
So yeah, we'll leave it open for now, and then we will collect more thoughts and on what topics we can do for the next session. Next session probably will, as Uli said, we'll do something more focused. And today's chat, you do send us feedback on what you liked and what you want changed as well, because that is where we'll take some. That's where we learn. We don't know how this went on the other end, because all four of us are sitting here physically.
Well, the cool thing is we have very verbose and opinionated people on the other hand, so they will tell us live.
Keep being verbose.
Yeah.
So do send us feedback as well.
Good. Well, the camera is here. Maybe we should, for once, just stand up and look into there.
So lovely having you all here. Thank you for joining us. Unmute yourself and say bye.
Thank you.
Is there anybody
Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.